Good morning, I'm Liz with Eco Urban Gardens and welcome back to Gardening at Home with Liz. So we learned last week about how to deadhead your flowers to improve the amount of flowers your plant produces. Today we're going to learn something called thinning. This is specifically for fruit trees, but it's the same type of idea that you're going to thin out the fruit, which will help put energy back into the tree, which will give you bigger, more densely nutritious fruits. So the process of thinning should be done in late spring, early summer. June is a good time because the apple trees actually do something called a June drop, where they will drop some of their apples just on their own to improve their production. It takes a lot of energy for a tree to produce a fruit. Think of the fruit as the tree's baby. So we're gonna just thin the fruits out to help the tree produce the biggest, most densely nutritious fruits. So the tricks for thinning are, you're gonna need a pair of pruners. You could pluck them by hand, but you're leaving the tree open to disease when you do that. If you have a nice clean cut, it helps protect the tree in the long run. You also need to sterilize your scissors. This could just be with some alcohol. That way, if there's any bacteria or anything, you're not gonna damage your fruit tree. So we're gonna take a look at our apple branch here, and there's a couple things we need to keep in mind. The first is that each cluster of apples that has, 2 to 6 apples on it, we only wanna leave one. So you're gonna first take off the ones that are smaller and maybe they have a little deformity or there's already a bug living inside of them. And then you want to make sure you're going to leave the ones that are exposed to the most sun and air. That'll help them get the most ripe. And you want to leave about 6 to 8 inches between each apple. So for example, on this branch, I would cut off all the apples except for one in this little cluster. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I've picked my one healthy apple that I'm going to leave. And then I'm going to do that all the way down the branch. So I'm going to take these guys off and I'm going to leave this little one guy here, same here, and I'm just going to keep going all the way around my tree. Now I know this is a bit time consuming, but think of it as a meditative practice and it's really healthy for your tree. So thank you so much for joining us and tune in next week for our next episode of Gardening at Home.